So I'm going to talk about moonshine phenomenon in string theory. And, about several years ago, 5 years ago, together with collaborators, we found some curious new symmetry, with a rather esoteric discrete symmetry in the standard setting of string theory, string compactified on a certain standard, let's see, Calabi-Yau manifold K3 surface. And if you look at into the structure of this phenomenon, it looks like it looks sort of similar to the so-called monstrous moonshine, which has been studied in mathematics some years ago. And because of this reason, the new phenomenon we have encountered is called the Massieu moonshine. And because in this case, instead of a monster group, a group Massieu group appears in the theory. So if you study the string theory compactified on K3 surface, you don't recognize the presence of this Massieu twin group. And I'm going to show you that how this esoteric strange symmetry is hidden in string theory. So today I'd like to give you a brief introduction to the stringy moonshine phenomenon, which may possibly play an important role in string theory in the future. So let me start with the story of a monstrous moonshine. And if I am not exactly sure if you most of you are familiar with the phenomenon of monstrous moonshine, this is a very strange story of the connection between the modular forms, modular functions, and these esoteric discrete group. In the case of monster group, monster, that is the biggest finite group. That's it, I think. The mathematicians figured out during the 1970s. So here we consider a so-called modular J function, a special kind of function. So Q is e to the 2 pi I tau, let's say. Imaginary part of tau is positive. And then we consider a special function which obeys a property. J of tau is equal to J of A tau plus D divided by C plus tau, C tau plus D. ABCD are 2 by 2 matrices, ABCD are all integers, and determinant 1. So AD minus BC is equal to 1. With that condition, ABCD run over integers. And so this is a J function which has this invariance under the so-called modular transformation. This SF to Z is the so-called modular group. And it is known how we can expand this modular J function in pair series. So the first term is a simple form, a constant, q to the 1, q to the squared, q to the cube, and etc. Okay? So this is just a J function. We've never heard of the monster group so far. But very strange thing happens. If you look at the first quotient of q to the 1, it is 196,884. But it is known that there's this huge group monster. There are representations. If you look at the smallest representation, actually the smallest representation is just the identity representation. That's too small. So second smallest representation. The size of the second smallest representation is 196,883. So this is the the quotient of the q to the 1 of the j function is equal to 1 plus something which seems to be the dimension of the second smallest reducible representation of the monster group. If you go to the next term, it's huge, so it's difficult to count. 21, 49, 33, 37, 60 q squared. But as it turns out, this can be again factored into representation of monster. So this is 21, 49, 37, 60 is equal to 1 plus this same number. This is the second smallest size of the monster, plus 21, 29, 68, 76. But it turns out that this number, 21, etc., is the third smallest. Third smallest reducible representation of the monster group. So the smallest is 1, and the second smallest is 196, 883, and third smallest group is representation is this one, and it just keeps going. So if you go to q to the cube, let's say, and q to the cube, the quotient of the q to the cube can be decomposed into some of these numbers. So these are huge numbers, and huge numbers are expanded into huge numbers, but the quotient is relatively small, very small. So quotient is 1 or 3 or 2, and it looks like there is a very strange reason that such an accident happens. And actually, these two objects belong to a completely different area in mathematics. The modular forms, modular functions are in a particular field of mathematics. And these discrete groups, in particular isolated, sporadic discrete groups, are also in its own field of mathematics. And here there was a very strange coincidence, intersection between different areas of mathematics, and people are very much surprised. So monster group is the largest sporadic. Sporadic means that we could have a discrete group like Zn, and n can be bigger and bigger. So in that sense, it's a series. It's not isolated. But there are discrete groups which are isolated. There are 26 of them. And so there's an end to it. And the end, the biggest one, is a monster. So in a sense, it has some very special meaning. So the number of elements is 10 to the 53. So it's close to the number of atoms of the universe. So some people wonder whether it's possible to write down all the multiplication table of monster explicitly, because we don't have enough atoms to do so. So this, the observation I talked about is due to John Mackay. So it's called the Mackay observation, 1978. He noticed a very strange relationship between modular form and isolated discrete group. To be precise, the decomposition Mackay talked about is ambiguous, because there's identity representation. There's only one is available. Then we can use one this many times, 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, to recover the reference side. So in that sense, that this decomposition may not be quite, actually are not quite unique. In order to show the uniqueness of such a decomposition, I have to do something more. And I cannot explain in details, but there is something which is called the Mackay-Thompson series. And we should be able to compute this Mackay-Thompson series. And making use of these series, knowledge about these series, we can argue that this decomposition is unique. And in practice, what is important is, because this is given integer, we are decomposing given integer in terms of another set of given integers. Then if we allow the quotient to be rational number, this is always possible. So if the quotient is positive and integral, so this gives a trivial relationship. So that is the characterization of the monstrous moonshine. So phenomenon of monstrous moonshine has been solved in technical sense, I think, mathematical sense, mathematically in the early 1990s, using a technology of vertex operator algebra. But unfortunately, the mathematical exact proof sometimes don't quite give our simple picture, simple physical picture, let's say, of what's happening behind the scene. And in the case of monstrous moonshine, there is some physics interpretation, but it's not quite nice. So we still probably don't quite understand this monstrous moonshine phenomenon very well. So what I'm now going to tell you is that we seem to have a new version of this monstrous moonshine. So in this case, we had the Q series and the questions. Instead of Q series and questions, we have a function which is called the elliptic genus. So in the standard situation, we consider a so-called K3 surface. K3 surface is one of the series of Calabi-Yau manifold, which Hosomitsu-san talked about yesterday. So instead of J function, we consider elliptic genus. Elliptic genus is now two variables, R and Z. And we decompose elliptic genus in terms of representations of the symmetry of the string theory. String theory compactified on K3 surface has n is equal to 4 superconformal algebra. So all the representations of string theory fall into class n is equal to 4 superconformal algebra. We know all the character functions of these algebra. So the character function has also tau and z dependence, new variable z dependence. So elliptic genus is decomposed into a sum of these character functions. Then what happens? Then what kind of numerical factor quotient in front of this expansion? So let me explain a little bit more. K3 surface. We hear about K3 surface in string theory quite often. So we consider string theory compactified on K3 surface. K3 surface is a complex two-dimensional hyperkähler manifold. Complex two-dimensional, so it's real four-dimensional manifold. It possesses SU2 holonomy and the holomorphic two-form and ubiquitous in string theory. What is important here is the following. If we consider just ordinary four-dimensional real space-time, and if you look at the parallel transport of a tangent vector to this space-time, when we make a circle, the tangent vector doesn't come back, right? It gets rotated. And this rotation tells you that the space-time is curved. And in Riemannian geometry, the length of the tangent vector on the parallel transport is fixed. So the length is fixed, but the direction is rotated. So it must be the action of the rotation group. In 4 dimensions, it's SO4. SO4 rotation, it's 4 vectors. Now SO4 is SU2 times SU2. And K3 surface is such a very peculiar property that one SU2 part of the curvature is missing. Circular part or under-circular part, it depends on the convection. So K3 has only half of K3 is curved and half is flat, kind of. So if you consider right-handed two-component particle in K3 surface, it may not feel any gravitational force. But if you switch left and right, then there is a force acting on left-hand particle turbulent in K3 surface. So string theory can survive in such an environment. String theory cannot survive in a manifold which has holonomy S of 4. If the holonomy is full, string theory creates a divergence. The divergence destroys the conformal invariance, and the theory doesn't work. So we have to avoid the divergence. In order to avoid the divergence, one way is to consider a manifold which has a reduced holonomy. So four-dimensional real manifold has only SU2 part. Is a particular example. That is a case of K3 surface. Because SU2 part, one SU2 part of the curvature is missing, there is a symmetry left. So string theory on K3 has this additional SU2 symmetry. So it is a superconformal algebra but with SU2 symmetry, and that is necessarily n is equal to 4 superconformal algebra, conformal symmetry. So it contains ordinary Virasoro algebra and SU2 current algebra, and there are four supersymmetry charges, four supersymmetric transformations. So now let me define the elliptic genus. When we consider a closed string theory, there are left-moving modes and right-moving modes. Here, L means left and R means right. And the quantity with bar has to do with the right-moving sector. So the total Hilbert space is decomposed into left-moving part and right-moving part. And L0 is the zero mode of the Virasoro operator. But I think you intuitively know that Virasoro operator is something like a Hamiltonian. So this Q to the zero term is the familiar e to the minus beta h, the Boltzmann factor. So left-moving part, the right-moving part, both Boltzmann factors. And there's a sign of -1 to the fermion number, left-moving fermion number, right-moving fermion number. And this is the third component of the isospin. So the system has SU2 current algebra, so SU2 symmetry. So the definition of the elliptic genus is to take the trace of all possible states contained in the Hilbert space of this operator. And you are familiar with the so-called index theory construction in supersymmetric theory. The essence of supersymmetry is bosons and fermions pair up. They are degenerate. And let's say if you take a boson with a certain energy, apply a supersymmetry transformation, we generate a fermion with the same energy. Because Hamiltonian is like supercharge square. Hamiltonian and supercharge are related. So the energy of the bosons and fermions are degenerate under the operation of the supercharge operators. So bosons and fermions basically are paired of the same energy. So if you sum over all these pairs with -1 to the fermion number, they cancel out. Because computing with the plus sign, the boson, with e to the certain energy, and then we have fermion, the same energy, but with a minus sign. That they cancel each other. The only surviving states are the ground states, the lowest energy bosons or fermionic states. All the excited levels are paired between fermions and bosons. At the lowest ground state, it's possible that there is only a boson. If the fermion supercharge operator acts on the boson, it annihilates. So this is the BPS condition. Then there's no accompanying fermion. So boson and fermion can be isolated at the ground state. So in the right moving sector of this construction, I'm sorry, I'm explaining, taking too much time. If you look at the right moving sector, we have only this part and this part. And here, there's a complete cancellation of all the half excited levels except the ground state. So among all the right moving sector states, the only surviving ones are the ground state. The ground state is, let's call it the BPS state. So in the right moving sector, the summation is just fixed down to the BPS state. So it's very straightforward. In the left moving sector, so we have e to the beta h term, and this is a Fugacity term. Depending on the size of the isospin, south component of isospin, we introduce a parameter and such a coupling. It's a chemical, so this is a chemical potential of Fugacity in physics language. And then sum them up. So in this case, so bosons and fermions are paired, so the Hamiltonian is the same, but bosons and fermions have a different third component of isospin in general. Actually, in this algebra, it turns out bosons all carry integer isospin, third component of isospin. The fermions carry always half integer third component of isospin. So bosons and fermions do not cancel due to this term. So when z is set to 0, they do cancel. When z is set to 0, the left moving sector, right moving sector are both exactly the same, and just populate the ground state, BPS. Both left moving sector, both BPS, right moving sector, both BPS. So BPS combination. And it's known that in such a case, elliptic genus describe the Euler number of the target manifold. So in general, so this is the definition. In general, it's difficult to compute elliptic genus using physics technology. But we use the so-called Gettman models. So K3 surface, if you remember, has a moduli, has a parameter which change its shape and size. So if you compute the partition function of string theory compact value K3 on a different point in the modular space, the partition function becomes different. But in the case of the elliptic genus, this is topological invariant, topological quantity. This it's at the contribution of BPS states. And because of that, we can choose any point in the modular space of K3 surface, and the result of the computation of the elliptic genus must agree. So we can use the so-called Gettman model. Gettman model exists at a particular point in the modular space of K3 surface, and choose a particular point and do the computation, then get one number, get one function, then choose another point and do the computation of the elliptic genus, then we find there is a Lorentz agreement. So the elliptic genus is a topological sphere. If you compute the partition function, they don't agree. If you compute the partition function at a particular point in Moser space, another point in Moser space, they are not the same. They disagree. So that is so we have chosen a particular case of Vietnam model and was able to carry out the computation. So this is the result of the K3 elliptic genus. It's the ratio of Jacobi theta function, theta 2 squared, theta 3 squared, theta 4 squared. Now I think I don't have time to go into the description of the representation of n is equal to 4 superconformology, but let me just state the definition. So n is equal to 4 superconformology, but highest weight states are labeled by two numbers. H is the Hamiltonian energy, and L is the ISSB, third component of ISSB. So H and L are the parameters of the highest weight states. Then all the L is equal to 4 operators act on this theta space and start the representation of n is equal to 4 version. And there are two different types of representations. BPS type representation and non-BPS type representation. So the character formula, summing over the states of all the states contained in this particular representation. In the case of BPS representation, so BPS state appears at the lowest possible energy level. So in this case, H is equal to a quarter. The value of the Hamiltonian H is equal to quarter is the lowest possible energy state. So BPS, so here the highest weight state, and there are a build-up of these states by the right-hand side. Unfortunately, this computation was difficult. So we have this result. On the other hand, non-BPS case, H is above a quarter, and in that case, the summation of the series is very easy. And H is a continuous representation, so there is a range which is bigger than a quarter, but can be in this range. And here, there is a characteristic denominator in BPS representation. And this factor comes from this denominator comes from the condition that the supercharge annihilating the highest weight state. And because of that, we have such a denominator. And it turns out, without the denominator, this is something like a theta function. And under the modular transformation, this has a good transformation. But with the denominator, if you try to apply the modular transformation, you get the kind of mess. It's an abnormal transformation law. And because of that, such an object has been called as mock theta function. It's a kind of fake theta function. And was not considered as a mathematically well-defined nice object. But well, it turns out if we study ion is what's called conformal algebra, which describes string theory on K3 surface. We are faced with such quantity. So there is a kind of physical motivation of handling such a mock theta function. And recently, about 10 years ago or so, a mathematician, Spevers,